everyone, it's Kelly the Traveling Sharpener. Here today. I just want to show you guys what makes my sharpening different. I get a lot of people that say, hey, you know, I've taken my knives to multiple places and they never seem to make them sharp again. I've had people say they don't even know where to look for sharpening. So I'm here to tell you that if you bring your knives to me, you will be so happy. And I get comments all the time from people saying, my knives are sharper than they were when I first bought them even. So have no fear. There's a service here for you. So you can bring your knives to my 3 local drop-off points. I have Austin's Original Grocery Store on Webster, Warehouse Restaurant Equipment on Military, and Season to Taste out on Lineville Road in Swamico. So I've got 3 locations. You guys can access my sharpening service. It's a drop-off spot, so you just leave your knives there. I show up on a weekly basis and I sharpen those. So what does make my knife sharpening unique is the machine that I use is very aggressive. So I can take a knife and I can take metal off. I did this would take me 10 seconds to remove the tip off of this knife. So it's really aggressive. And that's good if you know what you're doing. It's bad if you don't know what you're doing. So this isn't something you can just kind of walk up to, maybe watch someone use it and then kind of walk up and do it yourself. It does take a lot of practice and training. And I spent a week out in California training on this machine. And then we came back and I just practiced and practiced and practiced until I got good enough where people would actually pay me to sharpen their knives. So really aggressive machine, but it's good if you know what you're doing, because if you press too hard, you're going to take off too much metal. I've actually heard a lot of people tell me, like, I take it to the sharpener and, you know, they just ground the metal away. So I know what I'm doing and I can make sure that I don't take off any more metal than is necessary. Of course, if there's like some chips or nicks or missing tip, a little bit more is going to be taken off just so I can fix the problem. But definitely I know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to destroy your stuff. And I actually have this picture that I've been kind of showing on Facebook a whole bunch, because these knives that I have from a before picture, these are knives that actually came from someone who took them to a sharpener. And if you can't really see what the problem is, this is what's called a reverse bow. So when you're cutting on a cutting board, that end here, the bolster part of the knife, is going to knock on the cutting board, so your knife isn't going to touch the cutting board from this whole area. So like if you're cutting a tomato or pepper, like anything with a skin, you're not going to be able to cut the skin because it won't come in contact with the cutting board. So these knives came from, and I won't mention a name, but they came from a local grocery store that does knife sharpening for free. They just don't have the right equipment. They sharpen their knives, and they're all commercial knives, so what they have, they sharpen properly. But when you bring in stuff like this, high-end stuff, they're not going to know how to fix it. So I take that and I actually come and I remove this part of the metal, and then I reshape the blade, and then I sharpen it. So it's a whole bunch of different steps, but that's where that repair and sharpening comes in, is I actually fix, when I see a problem with the blade, I can go and fix that and make the knife work like new again. So that is really important, and something that a lot of people, you know, would even look at that and might not even see that something's wrong, believe it or not. So that's another thing that makes my sharpening superior. So a lot of people tell me that they go in and, you know, oh no, I don't need sharpening because I know how to use a stone. I'm really good at using a stone. Now, that's great. I'm glad you're really into sharpening, and you know, I also use a sharpening stone. I know how to, and I know how long it takes. It takes a long, like you can spend 20 minutes on a knife just sharpening. And a lot of the times when I do get to show someone who sharpens with a stone or sharpens, you know, on a different machine that they have, it's not the prettiest thing. I see a lot of wacky stuff and really, like, you know, ridged blades that make even my machine, it kind of rocks when I'm trying to sharpen it until I pass a couple times and then smooth it back out again. But a stone is really good when you're trying to keep your edge really sharp, because you are sharpening, you are removing metal, but at the same time it takes a long time, and unless you are perfect, it's just going to be a really inconsistent edge over time. So, you know, once I'm done sharpening a knife, I can take it home with a stone and I'll probably keep it sharp for twice as long as I would if I didn't use a stone. But at the end of the day, when you're by hand, when you're doing that, it's just slow, and it just, like I said, really inconsistent on the edge. So love the passion. I love that people love to sharpen their knives, but at the end of the day, you're gonna want to have I hear a lot of people say, put the edge back on, or you know, I just want you to put the edge back on my knife. So happy to do that. It's really important, especially if you use a stone, because you can really do some damage to your knife, and that's why you know, you take your knife in, and they do have to take a lot of metal off your knife, because you know, you've got that really uneven edge. They have to remove that and then sharpen it. So it does make, you know, it does make the sharpening take longer and remove more metal. So I really hope that helps you guys understand why the sharpening system I use is so different compared to a lot of people around here. As far as I know, I'm the only mobile sharpener, and I really like doing it. So thank you guys for watching. And remember, I've got my drop-off locations. Drop your knives off. We'll get them nice and perfect again, even if you haven't touched them for 20 or 30 years. If you guys have that Chicago cutlery at home, which a lot of people do, bring them in, and I'll make them like brand new again. Thank you so much.